All right, we're live. After, I mean, holy hell. What was that? Well, if you hadn't heard, the Celtics lost 129 to 120 to the Nets in a game where they led by, I believe, 21. Got outscored 51 to 34 in the fourth quarter. 11 to 2 in overtime, meaning the Nets scored, what is that, 62 points, or 62 points in the fourth quarter and overtime combined. That was by far and away, like, not even a question, the worst loss of the season. I don't care if you want to say Tatum was out or Gordon Hayward got injured or Jaylen Brown got injured. They shouldn't even been in that position whatsoever. Like, even with Tatum out, even with Kemba on a minutes restriction, Robert Williams back. Like, yeah, the health. You're preaching to the choir here, but, I mean, zero defense after the third quarter ended. Oh, my God. We'll get to some of the box score here, I guess. So, Gordon Hayward, 7 points, got injured. Jaylen Brown got injured before overtime, 22 from him, 21 from Kemba, Marcus Smart 14, Daniel Tice 16, whatever. At least the bench scored tonight, right? But let's look at the Nets here. And I guess the only thing you got to call out is Karis LeVert, 51 points. I think he had 37 or something, 37 points in overtime and the fourth quarter combined. Oh my God. All right, enough bitching from me. Why don't I get to some of these comments? Maddie says hello. Maddie, hello. Michael David saying worst loss of the season. In Smart We Trust saying shit health and shit bench. Yeah, I mean, like I said, at least we scored bench points tonight. That is by no means me saying the bench was good. I mean, the bench was just forced to put up more shots and score more points than usual because zero players were in down the stretch. But it's a perfect point. Like, think about what we've been talking about on these streams all season long. It's like, hey, you have one bench scorer, and he's in there with the Carson Edwards, Brandon Wanamaker, Semi Ojeleye, Javonte Green at the end of the game. Like, that is literally there's G League teams that I think could beat that lineup. And that's, I mean, I get that I'm shitting on my guys here, but there's literally G League teams that can probably beat that lineup that was on the court at the end of the game. Maybe not, but like, Kentucky or Duke on any given year probably would. That was, it was crazy. Like, think about this situation here. Marcus Smart fouled out. Kemba Walker minutes restriction. Jaylen Brown injured in the game. Gordon Hayward injured in the game. Jason Tatum sick. Like, what are we doing here? They can't stay healthy. They can't stay on the court no matter what it is. Like, it's not even injuries. It's sicknesses. It's in-game injuries. It's a headache is what it is. Oh, my God. I mean, it's almost funny how crappy of a loss that was. If you think it was a crappy loss, smash the hearts. All right, a couple more comments here. A couple more. We're going to get to a bunch more. Ben AFC says, I can't believe what I just watched. Same. Maddie says, can't use injuries as an excuse. I know. That was, you have such a lead. Injuries or no injuries, it doesn't matter. I mean, overtime is the only way I'm making that excuse. Like, you literally trotted out the Harlem Globetrotters instead of an NBA team. Michael David says, how the hell we let LeVert score 51? I don't know, but here's a hint. Zero defense, that's how. And actually, I can't even say that because he did get absolutely hot at times towards the end. Let's see. Trevor saying they didn't even cover Kyrie Jr. Sports 101 says, IDK about you guys, but I'm sick of seeing Wanamaker on the court. Can't play defense, can't shoot. I wanted to tweet this out. I had this tweeted out. I was going to tweet IF and hate Brad Wanamaker at the end when he just drove down and took a layup and missed it a couple times. But I was like, I don't even think like I can tweet that right now. Why? Because like people, you guys would respond to me like, who else are they going to play right now? But seriously, like I am so Brad Wanamakered out. It's not even funny. And it's games like this where it's like, well, okay, I get the injuries, but still, I feel like he's just playing, or maybe when he is playing, he's not just a body, he's trying to do too much. I don't know. I could be wrong, but like this brings back the Isaiah Thomas thing, which I don't know. I got to catch up on these comments, but I'm sure we'll talk about. We've talked about multiple times, like get someone like him. If it's not Isaiah Thomas, get someone else. Get another point guard. Carson Edwards isn't giving you what he wants. Brad Wanamaker, in my opinion, kind of stinks unless he turns it around. And You got Marcus Smart as your backup point guard, if not, and I don't like Marcus Smart as the point guard. I think he's an awesome playmaker, but he's awesome as the 2 guard with Kemba in. He'll bring the ball plenty, he'll play make, whatever. But I want Marcus Smart focusing on what Marcus Smart likes to focus on, not being like, oh, I got to run an offense, got to conserve my energy. I don't know. The Brad Wanamaker argument can go in so many different directions because, like, I don't know. What, did he just have 16 or something a couple nights ago? It's like the minute you start hating on him, he's like, oh, no, I'm pretty good. But he's never going to be more than good. Greg says, that's why we need a bench. So dumb. I hate their stink-ass bench. We're coining that phrase, Greg. Trademark now. If we talk about the bench in here, we're calling it the stink-ass bench because it is. It's a stink-ass bench. It's a stink-ass bench. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be laughing out of just like confusedness, if that's a word, because I just don't understand what happened that game. Like, it's almost comical how badly that game went. Oh, so ridiculous. Like, come on. The Nets, and I tweeted it out, I said, I'm fine with this Celtics season. It's taken years off my life, right? I'm fine with it. Fine. Take years off my life when you're going to overtime against the Clippers, or you're having nail biters against the Lakers or the Rockets. The Nets, and not even the Nets, the Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving less Nets. I don't care who you're missing. You should be able to stomp that team. Karis LeVert, Chogizio, whatever that point guard's name is, like, come on. Len Diesel says, do we know how bad Hayward and Jaylen Brown are hurt? I could be wrong about this. Hayward's knee contusion, Jaylen Brown hamstring maybe. Maybe I have those backwards, but a hamstring is nothing to mess with. Like, whoever had the hamstring, I think it was JB. That scares me. I hate hamstring injuries. I mean, obviously I hate getting them too, but like, those are things that are just the littlest tweak can just set. Like, you can be out for a while with hamstring injuries because it's the type of injury you just can't come back unless you are 1,000,000% healthy. Michael saying Wanamaker needs to go. Trevor saying Grant Williams and Wanamaker need to go to the G League now. The thing I'll say about Grant Williams is I think he tries too hard now. He's like trying to set these hard screens. He's trying to flop. And I talked about it on the last stream. You guys kind of hated on me for it. I was saying how, like, I think Grant Williams kind of tries to flop or tries to emulate some stuff Marcus Smart does, and it doesn't work. Like, when he flops and doesn't get the call, it's hurts the team. Now, he's shown a lot of signs. I'm not ready to shit on Grant Williams totally yet. He's shown a lot of signs of, like, okay, he has the IQ to be a good basketball player, but some of the BS that he pulls, and I don't know. I don't want to make this this was not a Grant Williams loss. Do you know what I mean? As much as I'd love to say I was right about him, maybe we were overhyping him, maybe we were overrating him because as of late he's been nothing. I don't want to make this a Grant Williams at fault thing. This was a legit, like, team at fault. In fact, let's go on a little tangent here. I would say Brad Stevens blew that game too, but again, I can't point the finger. It's like every single reason that this team started sucking was everyone's fault. Like, people that were sick, people that were injured, not necessarily their fault, but like they're part of the reason too. Brad Stevens having nothing to work off of, but seeming like he gives guys minutes. Like, I don't know. Oh my God, my head's in so many different places, if you couldn't tell. What do we got here? Jason Tatum says fans can't boo the team off the floor. Trevor saying they didn't double team him. Karis LeVert? Yeah. Well, I saw a tweet. I think you tweeted that at me saying too, like, you can't double tweet. I'm losing it, guys. This is the type of BS. You know what I mean? Staying up until 10:30 for a game like that. And again, I'm all for the heartbreaking losses against the Lakers or the Clippers, but the Nets. Oh boy. G-Tac says, I think we need bench. We need the bench to be Carson, Romeo, Grant, Robert, and Cancer. I do like that. Like, that's their best option. When they trot out Semi Ojeleye, Javonte Green, I lose it. You know what I mean? Like, give Carson the chance. Hell, give him the chance because I don't think Wanamaker's doing anything. That's another name I meant to mention there with the bench. Give him a chance. Romeo, kid's playing when you play him. He's playing well when you play him. Grant Williams, like I said, it's not his fault they lost tonight. He's still a rookie. Give him the chance. Robert Williams, I think he's going to be back. That's a big lineup, though, going Cantor, too. Like, you can't compete with some of these smaller teams. I'm losing my voice, too, as we do this. Or I'm just, I don't know, I can't speak. AC says, I don't even have this in me right now. You don't have it in you. He's tuning into the stream. I got to get on here, press record, or press stream on the microphone. You don't have it in you. No, I know what you mean, though. It's like, This is the type of stream I was thinking it too right before I went live. I was like, this is the type of stream that I know we're gonna have a lot of talk. We're gonna have a lot to talk about, but like the reason of that stinks. And according to Greg, and like I said, I'm all in on the phrase, what a stink ass bench. All right, we'll get to a few more comments here. I'm probably gonna have to skip ahead in the comments because I'm waiting on 48 comments right now. Yikes. In Smart, we trust. Wish Danny cut Poirier, Moneymaker, and signed 2 more vets for the playoffs. Too late now. I think cutting Poirier would be a mistake. I'm biased towards him, so you might be right, but I'm never going to say anything. I'm leader of the Vinny P fan club. I just don't think when you have said big man problem, which I don't necessarily believe in, but if you do have this big man issue that people talk about, you don't get rid of a center. Getting rid of like a Wanamaker or a Shemi Ojale, like those guys are useless to me right now. And I'm only saying that because this team should be held to a higher standard. Think about the Bucks and the Lakers and the Clippers. These guys coming off the bench are not Shemi Ojales, Brad Wanamakers. No, they're Rajon Rondos, Kyle Korvers, Lou Williams, Patrick. Like, they're way better benches. And the Celtics are supposedly the cream of the crop with them, yet they're trotting out Brad Wanamaker. Jason Tatum Sand says Edwards was fine tonight. Yeah, I think you give Edwards the chance. Like, yeah, I'm through with this bench. This is like a perfect definition of that. I'm through with this bench. And what? Edwards was one of the only ones that made a shot in overtime. Gear PJ says we need bench scoring. This is, I mean, yes, we are going to read this all night. Trevor says Cantor's a defensive liability. Yeah, the lineup that someone shared here with Williams and Cantor, I don't know how well that would work solely because you're pretty big there. Like Robert Williams is a very big out of position all the time guy, and so is Cantor. So I don't know, but I do see the point. You're pretty much addition by subtraction. There you go. That makes sense. Jesse says Wanamaker, Edwards, Green, Poirier, and the Bruins Zamboni driver for the postseason lineup. Hey, Zamboni drivers have a good track record right now. Gear PJ says Trey Waters will replace him in a few years. Yeah, give Trey Waters a chance too. Like, I'm done with Wanamaker. Stink ass bench. We got to put that on a t-shirt. Lady Love says OMG, worst loss of the season. I want to scream. Had the game wrapped up and blew it. They were up like 12 in the fourth when I tweeted out, and they had already up 20 plus. I tweeted out saying let's finish this fucking game, and then they lost. And not only they lost, they got smoked in overtime. They got smoked in the last overtime and fourth quarter, but I mean, they got smoked. All right, I'm skipping ahead in comments. I'm probably going to miss some. If I do miss some, please just ask them again. Keith says, we are not deep on the bench. Danny has made no moves. Yeah, he's standing pat. I mean, I've always been a supporter of Danny, but this one seems like it's easy to replace. You know what I mean? I've always been a supporter of when we passed up on the Jimmy Butler trade or the Paul George trade or apparently passed up on a Kawhi Leonard trade. I've always been like, no, Danny knows best. But correct me if I'm wrong. This is a different category. This just seems so easy. Like I said, I know you guys don't all agree with Isaiah Thomas, but use him as an example here. Isaiah Thomas taking Brad Wanamaker's minutes. You're better. You are. I don't care what you say. Brad Wanamaker isn't the defender that you want to make him out to be in this argument. Like, Brad Wanamaker is bigger. He's a better defender, sure. But guess what? Give Isaiah Thomas his minutes. And then in games when you need defense or you need a bigger guard, play Brad Wanamaker if that's the case. It's so simple in my mind. Sports 101 says it's hard to accept this loss because it was due to a lack of effort. Exactly. Like, that's why this is such a collapse. It's not because of, and Maddie, you've mentioned it too, it's not because of injuries or anything like that. Like, no, they had this game wrapped up while Jaylen Brown was healthy, while Kemba Walker was still within his minutes restriction, while Marcus Smart hadn't fouled out, and while Jason Tatum was already sick. The only thing you could argue is that come overtime, they had no chance because they literally had nobody because of the injuries and whatnot. Keith says, poor coaching in the fourth. Can't disagree there. King says they put the bench in at the worst time, and that's the thing. They put the stink-ass bench, and when you put the bench in, when you go all in on the bench, it's like you're giving up almost, whether or not you want to admit it. Kirk Tennis says things take time with Grant Williams. Yeah, totally. I mean, he's, like I said, I'm not ready to shit on Grant Williams. He's shown he's kind of got the intangibles. Let's ride him out, but I feel like he's playing a lot. Clint says, I'm just saying, Romeo Langford got 7 more minutes of playing time than he deserved. I don't know. I don't know if Romeo Langford stunk. I mean, again, like, I think I can't point the finger here, which is making it tough to pinpoint what I hated about this game. Pretty much everything. Lady Love says, bad loss, but I won't tolerate any Marcus Smart slander. Overall, he's been amazing for this team. Yeah, I mean, you can't tolerate Smart slander. You can't tolerate Hayward slander. You can't tolerate Jaylen Brown slander tonight. Like, those are the ones that, yeah, I'm confident if they did have the team. And now this is an excuse. I'm not trying to use injuries as an excuse. If they had a healthy team tonight, they smoked the Nets. Like, it was a contributing factor, the fact that they didn't have anybody to combat Karis LeVert. Like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You'd be crazy to say, oh no, this team would have got beaten no matter what. No. That's not the case. But to say that you couldn't have won with who you had on the floor tonight would also be wrong. They had this game locked up and they pissed it away. This game is saved if we didn't overreact to the LeVert on the last shot. Marcus Smart, I know I just said no Marcus Smart slander, but why is he reaching there? Like, what are you doing? There's 3 seconds left. Getting choked up here. Just like the Celtics got choked. Good joke. Marcus Smart reaches with 1.3 seconds left. What are you doing? Jay says, what a collapse. Michael says, I lost my voice in the fourth quarter. My tweets are so loud. Gear PJ says, Trey Waters will replace Wanamaker. I agree. I can't be the only one, and we can't be the only ones that see this. Like, is Brad Wanamaker really like, whoa, I love Brad Wanamaker? Or Brad Stevens really like that? Kylon says, who can we realistically sign before the playoffs? Because I'm sick of this shit. We can't lose close games. I mean, get someone for the bench, right? Even a veteran, like, again, just as examples, JC or an Isaiah Thomas is better than what you have. That's why I can shut down the immediate line of, oh, Isaiah Thomas, he won't fit here. He's not going to be the same guy he was. No shit, he's not going to be the same guy he was. He's not going to drop 30 for us, but he's better than Brad Stinky Maker. T-Money saying, I need IT coming off that bench. Michael saying, my neighbors understand when I'm yelling. It's called passion and being a sore loser. We could use someone like Mirotic. I think you might have spelled his name right. I don't know if it had CH at the end, but you said however you spell his name. Something like that. Yes, you do. You just need somebody. Somebody. All right, guys. I think I'm super far behind in this chat, but I'm not missing comments. I might miss a couple. I lied. I'm probably missing a couple. Trying to catch up. Milf Hunter says, should have played Taco. Yeah, I mean, I don't really get the Taco situation because now I've lost track of how many games he's allowed to come up and whatnot of his, 46, whatever it is, 43, whatever the two-way contract means. But I think anyone would have helped. Anybody would have helped tonight. We stand for Celtics that's excited for Rob the rest of the season, and we need way more of him. He did great. Yeah, he was a guy. I mean, he had a couple, like he missed a couple foul shots, but whatever. He's a big man. Still would like him to make those. And he had a couple, plays where it's like, what are you doing there? But that's kind of got to be okay, right? For him just coming back from injury, from a long injury. So yeah, I'm very excited for him. I think he is going to absolutely shut up all the big man requests that everyone makes. Because I think if tonight showed anything, it's like one of the most athletic, rebounding, rim protecting, defending centers in the league right now, DeAndre Jordan. And I wouldn't really say like that was the reason the Celtics lost. You know what I mean? The big man issue had nothing to do with this game. DeAndre Jordan had 8 and 15. Like, he's gonna get his boards. He's huge. He's a monster. You can put another DeAndre Jordan against him, and he would still get boards. But like, they didn't lose this game because of a big man, and they were facing a guy that could really hurt them. They lost this game because they had nowhere to turn to when they needed to do next man up. All right, I'm skipping ahead in the comments here. Trevor says we need someone that can drop 15 points consistently. Yeah, and not even like 15 points consistently. A guy that would drop 15 points occasionally is better than what they have right now. You're right though. The guy that can give you 15 points off the bench. Like, look at what's his name? Montrezl Harrell on the Clippers. What is he averaging, like 19 off the bench? I'm not asking for that. But a guy that you can go to alongside Lou Williams, it's like, no duh, they're a good team. It doesn't matter when Kawhi goes down or Paul George goes down. They're like, okay, we'll just go to one of our other guys that would be a starter on 50% of the teams. Um, PJ says if we can get two guys who can score double digits every night off the bench, we win. That'd be so massive for this team because I've said it before on these streams. I've said it on the podcast. Ev Singleton Unleashed. Everyone watching right now should go to iTunes and give me a 5-star rating because we got jabronis that just give me 1-star ratings because they hate me, but I'm just trying to do my thing out here. Ev Singleton Unleashed, Twitter bio. Little plug there. But we have a starter, and we've talked about it before. The starters are the third best scoring starting lineup in the league, and we haven't even had a full starting lineup for so long. So it shows how good this starting lineup is, and the bench is like the second worst. That I'm not saying there should be more of a balance, like the starters drop and the bench rises. No. But I'm saying there shouldn't be that big of a disparity. Like you shouldn't be third and second to worst. You keep that starting lineup. You keep these guys healthy. You are one of the best, if not the best starting lineup in the league. You get one or two guys that can drop double digits and control the rock off the bench. There's no doubt you're a contender. There's no doubt you're a contender. And you mentioned two different guys every single night. Like, you're asking for two guys to score double digits. I would say, give me a guy that scores, give me two guys that average 10, like you're saying. One goes for 15 every night, and the other goes for 8, and they can interchange whatever. You just need something like that. Son of Judah says, we need 13-5. We need a 13-5-5 guy off the bench that can uplift stuff or at least help us maintain a lead. And I didn't like him by the end of it. I thought I was kind of getting annoyed of him by the end of his time here. But y'all remember Evan Turner? That 13-5-5 guy is exactly him. Like, we need a guy that can just do a lot of everything. Or a shooter. Like, I think one shooter, like a Kyle Korver, I know that he doesn't do anything else. But a guy like that just seems like he gives your bench so much more of an uplift. You know what I mean? Like, Brad Wanamaker, as much as we've crapped on him this show, like, Brad Wanamaker at least has more room to operate and can do things. They just have nothing right now. They have Javonte Green, Semi Ojeleye, Brad Wanamaker, and as far as I'm concerned, they're literally all the same person. They go in there, they aren't going to be able to shoot, they're going to try and drive, they're going to flop, they're going to think that they're big, strong, tough guys. It's crazy. All right, guys, a few more comments here before we start to wrap up. Please, smash the hearts. I see someone smashing the hearts right now. Neon Green, you got it. But please, and it's Blue Devil. Blue Devil says Jamal Crawford can still get 30. I mean, get someone that can do that. Like, I know he's the hot topic name, but there's probably so many guys in this league that you could just sign. Like Isaiah Thomas, I feel like would come back here in a heartbeat. It's a good point. So Kylan says, I heard Wanamaker is on the team for chemistry. It's an amazing point because what did we shit on this team last year, right? Yeah, like, I totally agree. Chemistry is huge. But last year we're talking about a guy in, Kyrie, fraud bitch, Irving, ruining chemistry. That's your best player ruining your chemistry. Now we're talking about the guy that's like should be the 12th man on the team. He's on the team for chemistry? If this team, I'll say it right now, if this team is relying on Brad Wanamaker to be at all good or at all a picture of what they've been, then holy hell, we're in way bigger trouble than I think. We don't need a bench. We need a rebuild. Like, if Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, Gordon Hayward, Marcus Smart, Daniel Tice, if they're all relying on Brad Stinky Maker, oh boy, we got a bigger problem on our hands. We got a way bigger problem on our hands than just shoring up the bench. All right, guys, keep smashing the hearts. Thank you very much. I know you guys always say you like to come in here and bitch and moan after losses like this, but believe me, it helps a lot for me too. At least we can come on here and have a good time. And yes, I do think that we coined two phrases here, and they both happen to start with stink. So Greg, earlier in the show, I don't know if he's still in here, says the Celtics stink-ass bench. That is going to be reused. You can believe that. And then Brad Stinky Maker, I hate to do it. I mean, he's probably watching this because it's such a big show. Brad Stinky Maker might stick around too. It might stink around. Pun. All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to say it. This was a terrible loss, the biggest collapse of the season. But you better bet your bottom dollar that this team is still legit. And if you're new to the streams, if you're new to my Twitter or whatever, I've been saying all season long, this team is legit. And somehow, I don't know why, you guys have seemed to adopt that sort of phrase. You love the word legit, I guess. It's almost like I invented the word. Pretty good. I invented the word legit. But this team is still legit. Like, I'm not worried about this team because a while back I sort of tapered my expectations down. Like, if this team goes on to try and contend for a championship, then excuse my French, but fuck yeah. But if they don't, like, I'm waiting for next year or the year after. Like, this team is legit. They are on a straight line to the moon, and we're all here for it. We're here for the good times, and we're here for the damn stinky times, like tonight. And like the loss to the Rockets, and like the stream we did after the Lakers loss. Like, they're gonna be losses. This team's still on pace to win over 55 games, I believe. Whereas Vegas, and I told you guys at the time, to hammer the over of 49 wins. And I hope you listen to me because it's trending, but I don't want to jinx it. Knock on wood. Kylon saying it's always next year for us. Hey, totally fair. But when have we said next year for us with what we've seen in Tatum and what we've seen in Brown? So that's the only thing I'll throw out there as a rebuttal to your point. I totally agree. It's always, no trade deadline. Next year's trade deadline. Next draft. Next year we're going to be the team. But there's a huge X factor and a Y factor this year, and it's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. We haven't seen them before when saying this next year. Like, Jason Tatum is the biggest X factor in the world. We're able to say next year because of him. So take it for what it's worth, guys. This team is legit. I'm signing off. Go Celtics. Tough to say after a stream like this, but go C's. Even got red tonight, so the legit lobster coined last stream.